Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 44 of Estate Planning TV. I'm your host, Christopher Small, and this is the most passionate show, the internet's most passionate show about estate planning. Hello, I hope you're having a great day. It is sunny, finally, 70, finally. I'm so excited. If you are anywhere around Seattle, then you know what I'm talking about. The long winter is over. Hopefully, for now. But that's not why we're here today. We're here today to really talk about something that I see happen all the time. And I've talked about this before, and I think it's time to sort of circle back and talk about it again. But it's really how to choose a guardian, or how not choosing a guardian can have a tremendous effect on your family, on your children, on your life, right? And the reason this popped up is because I had several conversations this week with potential clients about some of the things that have put them off from doing their estate planning. All these clients have kids, young kids at home. They know that estate planning is important. They know that sort of a big part of estate planning when you have kids is ensuring that your children are taken care of if something happens to you, and in more particular, if something happens to both parents. Who's going to take care of the kid? How's the money going to be managed? How are we going to make sure that our children are taken care of and given an opportunity to grow and to thrive and to succeed if we are not here to sort of help push them along and help guide them through that process? And what often happens is, in thinking about having to do this, people start thinking about who to choose as their guardian. And for whatever reason, they have a hard time making that choice. It's a difficult choice. That's why people have a hard time doing it. But often what happens is it comes down to a tie between like two or three different sort of people or sets of people, and it's that lack of decisiveness that kind of freezes people and creates this just lag of no decision forever, potentially. And then if something happens, the consequences are just so great. So today I wanted to kind of talk about that, tell you about the consequences, give you just a couple of quick, easy strategies for making a decision on your guardians, and hopefully convincing you to finally take action, particularly if you haven't done anything yet. So first things first, the consequences. If you don't have long-term guardians named, something will happen when you die, okay? First things first, it does not matter who you want to be the guardian. It doesn't matter if you wrote it on a piece of paper. It doesn't matter if you recorded it in a video. It doesn't matter anything. If it's not in your will, then you, or power of attorney, potentially, then your designated guardian choice is not locked in, okay? What will happen is, and if you've made no choice, obviously your choice is not locked in either. So what will happen is your personal representative, whoever that person ends up being, will open a probate in your name, will open this procedure, and then people will petition the court and ask the court to be nominated, to be named the guardians of your kids, okay? And it's a process where they will have to go through some things to demonstrate to the court that they are able and willing and a good choice to be the guardian. But at the end of the day, the person that's making the choice of who's going to take care of your kids, of who's going to raise them, of who's going to teach them values, right, of who's going to show them the way, is going to be a judge. A judge is going to make this decision. And for most people, this gets super real when you start to think about the people in your life that look good on paper, that may be good people overall, but that you would never want to raise your kids, right? Because they have different values than you do. They have different belief systems. An example that I used the other day was, imagine you have two sets of grandparents, okay? One set of grandparents looks great on paper, but they have conflicting views with you when it comes to education and the importance of education, okay? The other set of grandparents, they still look good, Maybe they don't look as good on paper as these other side, but they are the epitome of your views on everything. And you have a complete confidence that they would raise your kids in the way that you wanted, in the spirit that you wanted. Now, a judge is unlikely to know what your values were and what was important to you. The judge is going to have to look at the piece of paper and look at the people in front of them and make the best selection, right? He's going to have to go like all March Madness on it. He's going to look at the stats. He's going to make a choice. The best choice that he can, but not always the right choice, okay? That's the downside to making no decision, is that you don't get a say in the process, and it can have devastating consequences for your family. So, and by the way, I hate to be all Debbie Downer here, right? I do not like this, but this is my job. And if the way that I can get you to take action and do something, whether it's with me or with anybody else, is to scare you, is to show you what really is going to happen, then I'm willing to do that. Like, that's why I do this. That's why I started this firm. That's why I do estate planning. You know, I have my own kids. They're right. If you're listening to this, you can't see this, but they're right here. Okay. And I would be devastated if something happened to my wife and I, and they were raised by the people that we didn't want them to be raised by. It would be terrible. You know, they're everything to me. I'm sure your kids are everything to you too. Okay. Now, with that being said, how do we pick? How do we make the choice? What I always tell people is this: your B choice, and by B I just mean like you may not have an A. You may not have somebody that just stands out above everybody else. You may only have a bunch of people that are good to choose from. Choosing from that pile for you is still going to be better than no choice, because it's not likely that a judge is going to even know that this pile exists of people that you think are good qualified candidates. So what I usually suggest that people do is to make the right choice for now. Don't look way ahead into the future. Don't think about what ifs and what have yous and whatever else. Make the best choice for today. If something happened to you today, who are the people that you would want to raise your kids? Those are the people that you pick now. If you and your wife or your husband still can't agree, then you just need to make a deal. Okay, and this is where the strategy comes into play. Somebody gets to win. Somebody has to win. There's got to be someone that both of you can live with. And if that's the case, then you pick that person now. And you make an agreement, you make a deal that 1 year from now, we're going to put this on the calendar every year. We're going to revisit our guardian selection. We're going to see, have the kids changed? Have the people we've named change? Have people come into our life that may now be a better fit for this? Because changing that guardian designation inside of your will is not difficult. It's not expensive. It's not time consuming. It's easy. We're talking about like a $100 fix, right? And so agree to make the best choice now and just update it as it goes on. Your estate plan should be fluid anyway. You should be committed to revisiting your plan and updating it and revising it as needed, as you grow. So that's the strategy. It's as simple as that. Now, the choice that you have to make is, am I willing to do that? Am I willing to make a choice? Am I willing to do what's right for my kids? Do I care if a judge chooses who's going to take care and raise my kids if something happens to my, me and my spouse or my baby daddy, right? Whoever they are, my child's parents. So the choice is yours, okay? Hopefully this gave you some strategies. Hopefully this helped you get through that process. Hopefully you have made a commitment now to make a choice and get these things done. All right, that's all I can ask, but I really hope you do that. And I would love it if you would consider me to do that, right? Obviously, the reason I do the show is to show that I know what I'm talking about, to show you who I am, to show you that I can be trusted, that I do a good job. I have a bunch of good reviews out there. And if you want to learn more about me or talk to me about this more, that'd be great. I'd love to. You can do a couple different things. You can email me, chris@cmslawfirm.com. You can call me, 206-659-1512. You can go to the website and schedule a time for us to talk. That's probably the easiest thing to do. You can call too. It's super easy. And I'd love to have a conversation with you. All right. That is it for today. See you next week.